Let us see important quality assurance question and answers. Define quality assurance. Pharmaceutical quality assurance is the assurance of quality requirements for a product or service in the pharmaceutical industry, right? So this is very well understood. QA is the assurance of quality requirements for a product or services in any of the way. Quality assurance aims to create and maintain customer confidence in the product, and the goal is to detect defects early or to prevent them, right? Quality assurance also prevents the defects at the early stage, or to, if it is happened, then to protect them or to prevent them, right? Quality assurance is mainly concentrated on planning and documenting the procedures to assure quality. What is documentation? Documentation is basically all types of written procedures, records and instructions, quality control test records with procedures involved in all manufacturing activities of drug product. So basically documentation means every kind of written procedures, whatever we are doing in the lab, we are weighing, we are testing, or we are finally approving, or we are finally sending batch to the some another place. So everything of procedure, whatever we are doing, we are documenting that. So that procedure is called as documentation. So next is during in process quality assurance checks. What needs to be checked? Environmental monitoring, measured values obtained from the process requirements like temperature, rpm, rotation per minute, and etc. Few other tests. Measured values obtained from persons like timings, entries. So whenever they are entering into the lab, whenever they are exiting into the lab, when they have went for the when they are logging off from the certain instruments. So everything needs to be documented and everything needs to be checked. Process attributes like weight, hardness, stability, disintegration test, dissolution test. So this all process attributes needs to be checked in during QA check. Explain the difference between QA and QC. I have made a detailed video on this also, QA and QC, you can check that also. But in short, we can tell QA provides the confidence that product will fulfill the quality requirements, and QC determines and measures the product quality level. Expand SOP. This is one of the important question. Standard operating procedure. SOP means, what does it tell? That whatever the procedure we have to perform, whatever the procedure we have to perform in a lab has to be as per our standard operating procedure. So we cannot go and just do according to our requirement or according to our need. We have to follow a procedure which is documented there. So that is called a SOP. Every process has SOP, or every instrument has their own designated SOP. So that needs to be followed, whether it is small instruments or whether it is big instruments. That needs to be followed with strict. Expand IQ, OQ, PQ, DQ, installation qualification, operational qualification, performance qualification, design qualification. So whenever a new instrument is installed in our lab, whenever a new instrument installed, or instrument or software or any other equipment is installed in our lab, so these four tests needs to be done: IQ, OQ, PQ, DQ. This is important to remember. What is deviation? Any unwanted event that represents a departure from approved procedures or process or instruction or specification or established standard, or from what is required. This is known as deviation. Deviation can occur during manufacturing, sampling, picking, packing, testing of drug products. So right, say suppose deviation means we have a designed SOP, specification, right, approved procedures or instructions. Suppose this is a procedure, or this is a procedure, and any deviation in this is any deviation in this, any change in the written procedure or a specification, this is known as deviation, right? So this is a very big issue in a pharmaceutical industry. We cannot just compromise with the deviations. This needs to be investigated properly and this needs to be solved properly. So examples of deviations: temperature and RH of area goes out of limit, right? And typographical error observed in approved documents, standard operating procedure not followed, breakdown of equipment, spillage of material during unloading, instrument calibration results goes out of limit. Deviations are of three types: minor, major and critical. I will make a detailed video on this. So as I have already told, say suppose this is a procedure or this is a specification. So any change in this procedure, any change in any way, right, any way this change, this is called a deviation or deviation in the pharmaceutical industry. What is change control? This is also very important in the quality assurance. It is an approved procedure which is taken to change in any documents like SOP, specification, process parameters, and change in base site. So like we have seen, any deviation has happened in our procedure or specification, so this is the deviation. So now we have to investigate this, and now we have to check the change control. We call it as CC also, change control, right? Change control is raised by user department as per the requirement, and finally the change control approved by quality assurance. Change control can be raised through software or through manually. So change control change control has to be raised through manually or through software depending upon the company, and it is raised by a user department or as per the requirement. After final approval of change control, the changes can be made in documents, and change control can be closed after completion of required action plan, which is mentioned in the change control form. Change controls are of two types, major and minor, right? So it depends upon the what kind of changes we want to implement in the process. Say suppose we have a specification, and there is only small minor change, means typographical error, so that is comes under minor. And if we have a change in the percentage of our limit, so initially it was not 5%, now we need to do 0.1%, so this is a major change. So that is mentioned here. Change control are of two types, major and minor. Please comment in the comment box, I will make a detailed video on it. Define corrective action and preventive action. Preventive action: any action taken to implement the cause of existing deviation, incident or problem in order to prevent it recurrence, right, occurring again. In short, preventive action is to prevent not to happen again. So that is called as the preventive action. The action taken is called as the preventive action. Corrective action: an action taken to eliminate the cause of potential deviation, incident or problem in order to prevent its occurrence. An incident or event is called a preventive action, means to completely eliminate the cause of the potential deviation. This is known as the corrective action. You can pause the video and you can read it thorough to understand. ICH, what do you mean by ICH? Tell us it in detail. ICH is known as the International Council of Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Pharmaceutical for Human Use. This is the definition of ICS. Yes, this is big definition. It brings the regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical companies together to discuss the drug registration technical aspects. Basically, it brings all the countries together to discuss about the regulatory requirements, to discuss about the side effects of drug, to discuss about the pharmaceutical companies requirements, to discuss about any side effects or any other requirements going on. The aim of the ICS is to enhance the harmonization worldwide to make sure that safe, high quality and effective drugs are developed and registered in the most effective, efficient manner. ICS provides guidelines on four aspects: quality, safety, efficacy and multidisciplinary. This is very important. QSEM. I will make a detailed video on it. You can comment in the comment box. So this is all about this video. Thank you for listening. If you like this, like the video, share with your friends and subscribe the channel. Thanks a lot.